Greetings, Otaku Faithful. Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to bring you yet again another Sons of Anarchy episode review right here on Otaku Assemble Weekly. As always, here to bring you the latest in this week's Sons of Anarchy episode review. Now, this week's episode, I don't know what can be said about this week's episode, because this week's episode just added to the shitstorm that we are about to find ourselves with this season. Now, this is season 4, and this is episode 5, I believe, entitled Brick. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to officially name this review, entitle this review, Dirty Little Secrets, because that's all this episode was full of. It was chock full of dirty little secrets, of characters keeping things from one another, characters purposely and intentionally lying to one another. This whole episode was full of dirty little secrets from start to finish. And I will say, I mean, to briefly sum it up, I mean, it was a really good episode. It was like this week, especially, the episode went by really fast because it was so good. You know, it was one of those episodes where it's like, oh man, it's already over. But Jesus Christ, man. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get into this review. And honestly, where the fuck do we start? Best thing to do is start from the beginning. Okay, so as you all will recall, last week's episode, the club went out to Arizona. You know, met up with the charter out there, which was pretty much providing additional security so that the club can go and pick up the cocaine from the cartel, haul it back to Charming. Well, we open up this week's episode with the club coming back into town, and out the gate, we see that apparently Sheriff Roosevelt, which I'm sorry, but did y'all get that reference? If in fact his first name is Theodore, because they called him Teddy in the first few episodes, and his last name is Roosevelt, I'm sorry, that is just really funny. That's really funny. Chuckles, chuckles. Okay, anyway, but out the gate we get the second meeting between Juice and Sheriff Roosevelt, which Sheriff Roosevelt, once again, he's trying to push Juice on, he's trying to squeeze him on that whole thing about, Juice's father being African American. And then we even get a scene when he's talking to the assistant attorney, when pretty much he went to the assistant attorney and expressed his doubts and his concerns with this tactic that they were using against Juice. And honestly, man, the assistant attorney, he is so, it's funny, he's not fazed by any of this. And it's kind of funny because, last season, at the end of last season, we lost ATF agent Stahl, who, I mean, let's face it, that was a bad bitch. That was a cold-hearted lady who pretty much did whatever she had to get ahead, right? To whatever she had to do. Shit, killed her own partner, committed murder, framed it on people. She did whatever she had to get ahead, right? And so when season 3 ended, I was thinking to myself, how are they going to top that? Who could they possibly introduce into the series that would fill that void? And the assistant attorney is doing a pretty damn good job of that. Now, he's going about it a different route, you know, because Agent Stahl, she made her appearance known to everyone out the gate. She wanted you to know that, yeah, motherfuckers, I'm here, and this is how we're going to do things. The assistant attorney, he's not taking that route. Like I said, he's been keeping quiet, been in the shadows, watching everything going on. You see what I'm saying? Keeping tabs on everybody, keeping a watchful eye on everything. You see what I'm saying? He's been strategizing, he's been game planning, all that shit. In this week's episode, we discovered that this is one cold-hearted motherfucker, and he really does not care about what happens to these characters as long as he gets what the fuck he's trying to do done. Period. He even goes as far as to lie to Sheriff Roosevelt about his Sheriff Roosevelt told him, he's like, look, man, if we're going to go ahead and if we're going to play this card, I want my involvement with this wiped clean off the record, or at least that's what the assistant attorney offers him. And he's like, all right, cool, fine, let's do it. As soon as he walks out the door, please. It's like, whoa, dirty little secret number one. The assistant attorney, he's lying to the sheriff. Dirty little secret number one. I hope you all keep counts of all the dirty little secrets that's going to arise in my review, because there's a lot. So, dirty little secret number one, the assistant attorney not keeping up his end of the bargain with Sheriff Roosevelt. That's dirty little secret number one. Now, let's move on to dirty little secret number two. Gemma stopped by the prison to visit Otto, and Otto told her, Otto told her that, hey, I know Bobby was messing with Lorraine, and I know that right now the new sheriff department, they're looking into it. They say Bobby's a suspect. I kind of believe him. I looked at the report. So far, seems like he's the most reasonable suspect. I want to know what the fuck's going on. I want to know if it's true, and I want you motherfuckers to, if Bobby wasn't responsible, I want you motherfuckers to find out who killed her and take his head. Now, Gemma didn't make any promises, but she did approach it with the club, which brings us to our third scene, which was the club meeting. A very interesting meeting at that, because at the end of that meeting, Piney openly confronts Clay and let him know. It's like, hey man, you and I both know what John Teller, what JT was up to right before he died. We both know why he wanted out. He was, and I like this because we don't see, first off, we don't see Piney that much in the series at all. But there's only been a few instances before this episode where Piney has actually stood up to Clay. However, it's always been with this atmosphere or this pretense that Piney is still in a vulnerable state. He is still not in a position where he can outright challenge Clay. He has approached Clay many times, but not in a way where he appears or he poses as a threat. And also, if you guys will pay attention to the representation, the visual representation that's been going on here twice now in this season, what have we seen, especially in these conversations at the table with Piney and Clay? Piney and Clay, they sit on the ends of the table. Why? They're the only two members of the original 9, right? However, what's happened in both conversations? What does Clay do? Clay gets up, walks towards the door, and he stands while Piney is sitting at the table. That's visual representation. There's a reason why Kurt Sutter is shooting the episode like that. There's a reason why the scene is like that, because he wants you to see that Piney is sitting down. He's an old man. He's in a feeble condition. Clay is much young. Clay, well, not much younger, but Clay is a little bit younger. While Clay is in a vulnerable condition too. He is playing a farce. He's standing above him. He is asserting his dominance over Piney. He's letting him know, hey, I'm the top dog. I'm the alpha male. You don't challenge me, right? However, what does Piney do in this conversation? Piney gets up. He's looking Clay in the eyes. He's letting him know, hey, man, we got letters. They paint a vivid picture that John Teller knew you were going to kill him. We know, and not only that, you don't kill this drug deal, those letters are going to get out to the rest of the club. And what does Piney do? He gets up at the table, looking them straight in the eye, even turns his back on him. And he says, oh, and about that threat about you slitting my throat, I wouldn't do it because I got other things lined up. I disappear, it's getting out anyway. And he walks out. I love that scene because who's been able to challenge Clay like that in the past? The only other person who's actually ever been able to openly challenge Clay is Jax. And last time that happened was in season 2 when they got into that fight in prison. So Piney, well played, sir. However, this leads Clay. Well, now Clay knows for a fact that those letters that he and Gemma both suspected Tara had. Well, we know Gemma found out that the letters existed, but I don't know if Clay knew for a fact that, yeah, those letters existed. Now he knows, because Piney's approached him about it. He knows now. So, of course, him and Gemma, they get together. They're trying to figure out how we're going to do this. Now we're going to get into, I think this is when Dirty Little Secret, I think this is what, Dirty Little Secret 2 and 3 come into play, because Clay and Gemma decide to use Wade as their kind of their buffer, their middleman in uncovering these letters. Clay approaches Wade talking about, hey man, you got to find these letters, give them to me, I'll take care of it. Gemma does the same thing. Hey, you got to find these letters, give them to me, don't give them to Clay, I'll take care of it. And of course, he goes, he finds the copies of the letter, which I don't know why in the blue hell Tara would keep the copy. See, when Tara moved those letters from her desk and hid them and made copies, I figured by then she knew that Gemma had found those letters. Why then would she put the copies back in the exact same place? Now, granted, they aren't the originals. But I'm sorry, I would like to have more than one copy of those motherfuckers floating around. Isn't that the reason why she made copies in the first place? Why would you put the copies back into the same place where you had the originals if you know Gemma got to the... God damn it, Tara. Come on. Come on, baby girl. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, alright, Wade finds them. Now, he decides that, man, you know, this is some really hurtful shit. So, he decides to burn them. Clay shows up just in time, pull them out the fire, look them over. So now Clay has read them. He knows what's in those letters, right? But here's another thing. Wade has challenged Clay. He's like, say, man, that whole thing you told me about JT's murder, that didn't, no, you didn't do that for the reasons you originally told me. These letters say something completely different. You lied to me, man. Dirty little secret number 2. Clay has lied to Wade and kept him from him for all these years. Now Wade knows about it, right? He's like, man, what the fuck, right? However, when Gemma comes around and she sees that the letters has been burned, what did Wade tell Gemma? Oh, just some love letters. It was just some real hurtful shit. You didn't need to read it. Dirty little secret number 3. He's keeping a secret from Gemma. Then Gemma turns around and tries to play it as if, oh, well, Wade found them. I got to him first. I destroyed them. She doesn't know that Clay read them and that he was the one who was like, all right, yeah, get rid of them. But Clay didn't tell her that either. Dirty little secret number 4. Now Clay's keeping a secret from Gemma, and Gemma thinks she's keeping a secret from Clay. All right? So are we all on the same page here? Because I think I'm, what, 15 minutes into this? Are we all on the same page here? We got 4 dirty little secrets flying around, right? All right, then let's jump to Jax and the rest of the boys. What they've been doing in this episode, of course, they're going to try and find Georgie, who, as you all will remember, Georgie was Luann's porn business rival, her competition. And we all assume that he was the one responsible for her murder. Even now, I don't think anyone questions that he's the one who's responsible for her murder. So they're trying to track him down, right? And of course, they go through Opie's old lady because she's the porn star. She can set that up, and apparently it's her director who sets up the meeting with Georgie, who is Once again, another great cameo this season. Fucking David Hasselhoff. I ain't much gonna lie. Say what you will about David Hasselhoff. The role he was playing and the cameo he played in this week's episode was spot on perfect, and he did a fantastic job with the role he was playing. So yeah, you can say, oh, David Hasselhoff, he's playing a porn director, but I'll tell you this, man. Taking into consideration some of his on-camera appearances in the past, this was actually not that bad. This was more of a a legit role. So I'm glad that David Hasselhoff he has honest work now, and he's not making an ass of himself anymore. Because I like David Hasselhoff. I've always been a fan of his since Baywatch. And of course, that Nick Fury movie way back when, which a lot of people don't like to speak about because it's overly campy. I don't care. I like David Hasselhoff. Yeah, he lost his damn mind, but what celebrity hasn't, right? So David Hasselhoff's character, he sets up the meeting with Georgie. Of course, the sons are on top of it, right? But this will bring me to dirty little secret number 5. Opie discovers that apparently his old lady's been taking birth control. He's been trying to knock her up for a while now, and he can't figure out what's the fuck's been going on. Now he knows she's been using birth control, killing whatever seed he plants in her belly. But here's the thing, though. Wait till he finds out about the abortion from last season. Because, okay, that's dirty little secret number 5. The fact that his old lady was keeping that from Opie. And keep in mind, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw in dirty little secret number 6. The fact that he still doesn't know about the abortion. So what does Opie do? He turns around and he sleeps with the bimbo that Jax fucked around with in last season. Dirty little secret number 7, anybody? He's cheating on his wife now. Okay, so then we get to old Georgie boy, right? Now, check this out. This is the club's plan, because they decide to let Georgie live, but there's a reason why. Georgie has dealings with, I believe they were Japanese investors, and they're always looking for new investments. Clay comes up with the brilliant idea that, hey, we're going to use Georgie's connects, get these guys to invest in the property that's supposed to be Charming Heights, because Mayor Hal is supposed to lose that property because the city council is supposed to pull out that project. Because of the recent the murders and the bodies that were dumped there and all that shit. You see what I'm saying? City council can reverse the decision to sell that land. Well, this is the plan. The Japanese cats are going to invest in it. They're going to keep Mayor Hal on a leash, make him think that there are people who want to invest in the property, right? And then they're going to pull him out at the last minute, have city council overturn the decision. Hal's going to lose out on the property. Boom, no Charming Heights. So Clay gets what he wants. And the plan is this. After that's done, then they're going to take care of Georgie. But this brings me to dirty little secret number 8, because Bobby decides to go ahead and face Otto in prison. He lets him know, hey, yeah, man, me and Lorraine, we had a thing going on. It happened for a couple of months, man. I know it was wrong. I didn't love her. She didn't love me either. But, I didn't kill her. And Otto asks him, did you take care of Georgie? Yeah, man, we got him. Dirty little secret number 8. Now they're lying to Otto. And here's the thing. Because I think I mentioned this in last week's review. Otto has been nothing but the utmost loyal, faithful, and dedicated member of the club. Especially since he doesn't have anything going for him. He's in prison. And he's probably going to be there the rest of his life. He has absolutely nothing going for him. He just lost the love of his life. What else does he have to lose? What else does he have to lose? He has nothing else. And now they're lying to the man. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just ridiculous. So that's my 20-minute mark. That's just ridiculous. So then this episode concludes with a second meeting between Juice and Sheriff Roosevelt, when pretty much they tell Juice, hey man, look, we need a sample of the cocaine that you guys are hauling. So Juice decides to sneak back to the warehouse where they're holding it, and he goes to get a sample, except the prospects find him, and instead he takes the whole kilo. Goes into the woods, falls asleep, wakes up in the morning. When the guys go back to check out the merchandise, a kilo's missing, and Juice decides to hide it in the shrubs. Which will bring me to, what is that? Dirty little secret number 9, because Juice is keeping this whole thing from everybody, and that's going to be the driving force of the conflict next week's episode, because now they got to figure out where the hell is the missing kilo. And you know what? Another thing I have to mention in this review, I will go ahead and apologize if this review is a little bit longer than the norm. I mean, a lot of you all are used to me doing long videos, but I mean, I've always been able to keep the Sun's videos at least around 20 minutes or so. But I do gotta bring this up, because we do have to talk about this, because this is another thing about visual representation, interpretive media. Have you noticed that it seems like all or most of the characters in this week's episode are rattled? Do you know what I mean when I say rattled? I mean that all of them are shaken up, and they're starting to act a bit irrationally. And you can see the toll that all of this that's been going on in this season is taking on them. We got Clay, who was extremely paranoid. Gemma, who's trying to hold shit together, but honestly, you can see her a tad bit rattled. The reason why I say a tad bit rattled is because we've seen Gemma fully rattled. That's what season 3 was all about, was Gemma fully rattled. But Gemma, she was in a very precarious position, because she's trying to take control of a situation that's out of her hands. Because whether she likes it or not, and contrary to popular belief, she can't control Clay. At the end of the day, she cannot control Clay. So that's where her frustration in this episode comes from, because she's trying to manhandle that shit, and she can't do it by herself. Then Wade's rattled, because we see at the end of the episode that he's conflicted about, he's worried about what could potentially happen to Tara. Then, of course, Bobby, he's rattled, because he's conflicted with, the relationship he had with Lorraine, and the fact that Otto knows about it now, and he has to go face that man and tell him what happened. Opie's rattled, because he found out about what's been going on with his old lady, and then he fucks around and cheats on her, so he's rattled. He's not in his right mind. Juice, of course, is rattled. Shit, even like I mentioned earlier, even Sheriff Roosevelt was rattled, because he's conflicted about what the tactics he's using to squeeze Juice. Oh, and did anyone else catch the look that Chibs gave Juice when Juice made up that bullshit excuse to leave to go get the cocaine sample, and then the look on his face when he discovered that a kilo was missing? Do any of you all suspect that Chibs might be suspecting Juice? Did anyone else catch that? Because I did. The look on his face, he was like, okay, sure, yeah, go ahead, take care of your business. And then when the kilo went missing, he's like, why am I not surprised? Alright, that makes 25 minutes. So yeah, man, this week's episode, the title of the episode is called Brick. Should have been called Dirty Little Secrets, because it's full of them, man. It's full of them. So that's going to do it here for me. This is Larry Williams. Well, shit, I'm trying to think. A quick announcement if there's anything I need to... just to let you guys know what you can expect later on this week. Saturday, anime favorites for October. Once again, October is Samurai Month here on OAW, and that'll be my anime favorites video for Rurouni Kenshin. Of course, Boardwalk Empire review this Sunday. Also, I'm expected to have my I'm expected to participate in my rap battle, the long-awaited matchup between me and Escaflowne Dante. That is scheduled to take place this Sunday. Hopefully, it will take place Sunday because I've been working on my material all week. I've been prepping, and I'm amped up and I'm anxious. So, if someone flakes out for that battle come Sunday, if that shit don't go down on Sunday, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take that as a forfeit. If this shit don't go down Sunday, I'm taking that as a forfeit. So, and that's gonna be exclusively on Rogues Gallery Incorporated. I'm trying to think what else. I'm still working on the NFL recap vids, guys. Still trying to figure out how the hell I'm gonna do those and where I'm gonna find the time to do it. But other than that, I think that'll do it here. That'll do it. That'll be it for me. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, signing off. And until next time, peace.